guys, welcome back to my channel, my trader friends. So for this video, we will be having our tutorial regarding the basic data type. So without further ado, let's start this video tutorial. So actually, Python has the basic data types and the advanced data types. So for this video, we will be focusing first on the basic data types. Okay, so with regards to this study of data types, of course, we should know first what are the variables. Now, variables are used to store up data for later use. So this is just like the variables that we are using in a basic mathematics class, basic algebra class. So variables there is just the same with variables here in programming. Okay, so next we have this also the term identifier. When we say identifier, my friends, identifier is the name of the variable which the user decides to choose. So basically, what is your variable? This is my variable. What is the name of the variable? This is the identifier. That's basically how these two is working hand on hand. Okay, so like this one, identifier equals hello world. Hello world, the variable, the identifier is the name, for example. So we have these examples up to this. So for this data types, we'll be discussing this on our next slides. Okay, so for the data types, first data types, we have the string. Actually, the basic data types is just 4. So the first one is the string. Or example for this is the printing of the names like hello world or any other phrase or sentences. So the names is used for sentences, phrases, and characters. Now, for this string, as you can see, we have here the quotation marks. It is the sign or the symbol used to designate that your data is a string. So don't forget to have the quotation mark every time you are having the string data type. Okay, so next we have the integer. So basically, an integer is any number, positive and negative. So integer, aside to being a number which are positive or negative, it must be a whole number to be considered as integer. Okay, so the third data type is the float. Almost the same with integer, negative or positive, but this one has the decimal number, of course. So for example, on our integer that is 5, if we have decimal number like 0.25, 5.25, that will be now considered as float. Okay, so don't forget that. Lastly, we have the boolean. So for the boolean, this is used for conditions like saying if this is true or false. So that is a boolean identification. So next, for the printing of our output or the result of our code, print is actually used to display something in the console. So the syntax of printing is print then variable. Okay, so that's the basic, my friends. I think we can now proceed to our coding time. We can now go to our Jupyter notebook and have our coding there. Okay, okay, so we're now here on our Jupyter notebook. Again, Jupyter notebook is used for our coding itself. So for the first, since this is our first time to have a code, let's try to have the title first. So let's have here data types. By the way, guys, a sharp or a number sign is meaning for, if you see a number sign here, this actually means that it is a comment. But if you want this to be considered as title, just change this to markdown and run. So that will become black by default, and it is now the title. Of course, we need to have it for our Jupyter notebook to be organized. Okay, so for the first one, let's try to have first the string. Okay, so for the string, let's have here name. I'm sorry, so capital. Okay, so name. then equal sign, meaning we are assigning a specific data for the name. And let's have quotation marks. Let's write the engineer trader. So as you remember, the engineer trader is a word or a phrase or a sentence. For example, this is a sentence. You can convert this into string by having a quotation mark, just like what I have said before on our PowerPoint presentation. So for the comment, let's write here string for you to remember that this is a string. Okay, and let's try to print this string. Print. So in printing, guys, print then the variable which is name. So the output must be the engineer trader. Okay, so click run. Okay, so it's now the engineer trader. Okay, now if you're not yet decided, if you're still having some difficulties in identifying whether this is a string, an integer, or what, just always remember to have this code type, then name, meaning you are asking the system, you are asking the notebook to give you an output to know what type of data is the name, which is this one. Okay, so just print this or run it. Output is str. So str, guys, this means a string. Okay, so I hope you get it. That is our first data type. Next, let's have our next data type, which is an integer. For example, let's have equity. My equity is 1 million. Wow. Let's have here 1 million. Let's remove the... Okay, so 1 million. This is an integer. Why integer? Because this is whole number and this doesn't have any decimal point. Okay, so let's print equity. The output must be 1 million. Guys, just a hint, aside to clicking the run button, you can actually have the shift plus return for Mac OS users or shift plus enter for Windows. So yeah, so the output now is 1 million. So we print the equity. Now for you to be sure that this is an integer, just repeat this code type, then name, then run. That is a string. Now, why the result is a string? Because what we input is the name, not the equity. And again, the name on the upper side is the engineer trader, which has the quotation mark and which is actually a string. Now, if we'll try to change this to equity, then print that is now int, int or int. This actually means integer. Okay, so next for the float, let's have now an example. Our variable now will be Euro USD. Wow, trader. Euro USD 1.1998, for example, 986. So let's have pips. I hope you're familiar with pips, the difference between pips and pips. We have already a video for that, just check our channel. Anyway, so this is a float. Okay, now let's print Euro USD, the value of Euro USD. Print, okay, 1.19986, which is the input here. Okay, so for the data type, just input type, then Euro USD. You are asking the notebook to show you the output on what type of data has the Euro USD. What type of data is the Euro USD? Okay, so shift enter. This is float. So meaning this is now a float. For the third one, for example, is Euro USD is volatile. For example, is volatile. So Euro USD is volatile. Then equals true. Yes, it is volatile. This means that we are having a data that is a boolean. Okay, so print is volatile. Run. Now the answer is true. Okay, if we'll check what type of data it is, so type, then is volatile. So Euro USD is volatile. So type is volatile, then run. It will have an output which is bool. B-O-O-L. B-O-O-N-L. That means boolean. Okay, so that is the basic data types. Please don't forget this and master these codes, my friends, because actually this will be our coding rather will have the general flow from start up to the finished. Okay, so don't forget this before basic data types, because in our next video tutorial we will be tackling all about concatenations, etc., and also the advanced data types. Okay, so if you learn from this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more related contents. And I hope you learned something. I really hope that you are learning on our channel. And again, this is the Engineer Trader, your partner from learning to earning. Goodbye, and may our trades be great.